Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things, of a world where they can exist.
This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening.
It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Thank you very much, by the way, for sending those the recordings. It's really, really, I find it super helpful to listen to them afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
It's such an amazing luxury to be able to hear afterwards. So, and just, it's very different what you hear when you're just listening as to when you're going through the experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you for that luxury.
Yeah, thank you.
And will you send it again after this one?
Yes.
Thank you. So, I guess maybe some silence. As I said, I'm traveling, so I'm in a weird energy to begin with.
Okay.
Been kind of away from IFS for a little while.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see where maybe some silence brings us, and who knows where the journey will go from there.
Great. How many minutes would you like?
Let's go with 1.
Okay. I'll set a timer.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Anything come up? Any parts that you'd like to get to know better?
No specific parts, but I have a real energy that's vibrating within me. And a lot of imaging that's coming up. So
Okay.
I'm not really sure where to take that, except to try to figure out where that vibrating energy is coming from. I'm not really sure. Any suggestions?
I do have suggestions. That's one place we could go. I could also, at the end of our last call, we talked about going to another part, and I committed to reminding you about it.
Oh, perfect.
So I can bring it up if you want, and then...
Please do.
Okay. All right. In our last call, you were working with an exile called Mama Bear,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of unyoked and unwhitewashed. And it gave us a message that was similar to something we heard from the middle one before, which is that there were still some things some issues that the little one was dealing with that hadn't been witnessed around relationships, deficits, abandonment.
Mm.
And the older exiles, I think, were saying, well, the older exiles can't be done here until some of that work is done.
Let's look at that. That's really
okay.
Great. Thank you for reminding me.
Mm-hmm. And we can do that. Is the vibrating stuff still up? Does that feel like it's calling for your attention, or that it?
It may be related, because being here is being back in the, not completely, but pretty thoroughly in the setting of the little one. So it's maybe very appropriate, and it may be even related for all I know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So your thoughts on how we dig in or begin? Or?
Well, if we are targeting that little one,
Mm-hmm.
You can just see if you can access it now, or you could ask around, ask the vibrating ones, or ask any other parts if they have objections to us going there now.
Yeah. Nope. Nobody has any objections. Everyone's very actually encouraging, kind of, yep, go.
Great. Okay.
So I am starting to visualize an approach where I last left the little one. She's still there. She seems fine and well in her newer space.
Mm-hmm.
So approaching, asking if she has anything she wants to share.
Okay.
She's saying the abandonment was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that she's acknowledging that she's really glad that I'm aware of it, that I have become aware of it.
Glad that you've become aware of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That my acknowledgement of it is positive to her.
Mm-hmm.
But she's saying that I haven't really gone there with her.
Yeah.
So that's one thing she said she'd like to do, is kind of, as she's done in the past and other exiles have.
How do you feel towards her now?
I feel really warm. I feel like we have a really good relationship.
Nice.
She trusts me. She's happy to see me when I show up, and I'm delighted to see her. It feels like a relationship that is positive, but not. It's not superficial, but there's a lot more to it that hasn't been shared or explored. It feels like it has a lot of depth that we haven't come to together yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So she's acknowledging and thanking you for reminding on the abandonment and reminding me to come back to her. She's grateful.
Yeah, and does now feel like an okay time and space to learn more about that?
And she's saying yes, and I'm asking her. She seems a little hesitant, so I'm trying to ask her: is there something else that she'd prefer to share, or has more of a need to share? She's saying that in time we'll work through it all. Mm.
Okay. And I'd like to ask the same question of yourself, of how open, available you are feeling to what she might have to share.
I feel very open to it. I'm very curious about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to understand it and support her in that understanding. Like, we've done it before where she's done the movie reels.
Yes.
And I've really, that's been a very heartwarming experience for me.
Yes.
So.
Does she recognize that about you now?
She does. She's fully.
Okay.
We're fully safe with each other now.
Okay.
There's no ducking,
You're
no hiding.
in the right place then.
Yeah. We meet willingly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to really get a sense from her, get a real strong feel of the abandonment is where she wants to go. And she's saying kind of, why not? But I still have this feel like there's something else maybe that needs attention. But I guess I could just ask her. She's saying there are other things that are a little bit more murky that hold her back from being fully released. But she's saying, look, we need to start somewhere with all these things, so why not the abandonment?
Okay.
So, I mean...
Well, I just want her to know and you to know that sometimes, so much of what we're doing is just about how you feel. And so if she at all doesn't feel like it, but she's having trouble putting that in words, that's fine too.
Okay.
We'd want to know that.
She's saying no, she's not having trouble putting it into words, or won't have, or doesn't expect to.
Okay.
I can't really grasp what I am feeling. I'm feeling not a hesitation. Like there's something just lurking underneath the abandonment topic that maybe I've seen and I want to address, or some other part is maybe pushing for. That could be possible too, couldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think there's another part there who's pushing for some exploration, saying, hey, you've been avoiding this.
Yeah. Just welcome it. Tune into it.
It's saying, which relates to the little one as well, that the little one is an exile, and that I experiencing in that time frame was literally an exile, and wants me to acknowledge that it's not just a label, that the experience of the little one was a being in exile.
Yes.
And somehow this part wants me to really absorb that and to recognize that.
Yeah.
To just say the little one's in exile is one thing, and to work with the little one.
Right.
But
yeah, I wonder if this one is. I wonder if this one's concerned about that kind of like research project part of you. That we can see stuff and we can name it and categorize it, but it wants to make sure that you're ready to really feel what it's all about.
It's saying yes. It's acknowledging what you're saying and saying that's very much its concern that
Okay.
so much of what's been happening all along, which is the protection mechanism, is that research analytic part that builds that buffer to actually experience. So it's fine and well to say the little one is an exile. It's something different to actually accept the feeling of an exile, to experience the feeling, and that it's that. What it's saying to me is, hey, you're aware that over the last X amount of time, short time, that me, self, has been able to feel some of the width and the breadth and the depth of feeling that was shut off for so long. And I've been really acknowledging that myself, that how wonderful it is to be able to feel things and feel things really deeply, like to be very moved by things.
Yeah.
And this part wants me to stay connected to that in this work with the little one. It's telling me that part of the problem with the little one is that I've been able to understand, to reach out, develop a relationship, but I've kept my distance still.
All right. Thanks to that part.
Yeah, and I get that. Like, it's right on. I know where it's coming from, and from my day-to-day experience, it's making sense of what's going on with me. So I'm very grateful for that. That was very helpful.
Okay. And how about that analytical part? Is it up for you? Is it around? Is it?
It's always around. It's always willing to jump in because it's so protective.
Yes.
Like, it keeps me in such a safe place. Like, it's been my shield in the world. So it's always there, but we're also able to have some rest from it together, where it's allowing me, self, to have emotion and full range emotion, and to not be overwhelmed by it or be scared of it, or and it's saying that part, the analytic part, is bringing me back to something that we talked about previously, about pulling on the reins, holding back. That's been such a profound kind of feeling of my life. And it's saying that it's that, to be able to experience the full range of human experience and emotion, to have them, just have them for all their beauty, whatever they are. That it's like a full symphony of emotion. And it itself, the analytic part, is learning that it's okay, that I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That I'm growing able for that.
Yeah.
But that it's kind of stepped back a bit, but it's still there.
Great.
It's like, I'm still here. If you need me, we'll hop in and start analyzing things.
I think that's just where we want them. Stepped back, but still around.
Yeah. So I think right now it's about, I'd like to just take a minute and bring myself to the little one and just acknowledge for her that she had a very profound sense of being exiled. Not exiled in the labeling of IFS, but that she was exiled within a family, within a time, within a space, within a place. And she's very, very emotional about my acknowledging that. And I feel all that emotion. I feel it welling up in me. Self feels it.
Great. Does it feel okay for you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, okay, great.
It's kind of like an outpouring. It's just pouring into me.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I think she's saying we talked about the part of being a lonely child before.
Uh-huh.
And she said that was part of the exiling.
All right.
And also the abandonment is tied into that.
Okay.
It's all a very complex mix of things happening in her life.
Yeah.
That made her feel separate and isolated and pushed away. All the secrecy. There was so much secrecy going on that she wasn't privy to, but as a small child, you're always aware of it. And that's what she's saying. There was so much secrecy around everything, yet she was experiencing it, but she didn't know how to I have that feeling of being that little child again when you're watching life play out and the adults are all there and they think they're being secretive, but you still have eyes.
Yep.
So you know there are things going on and they're distorted to you because you only see parts of them.
Yeah.
And then there's all this cover-up going on to keep things secret.
Yep.
And it makes you feel completely isolated and exiled. You're not part of what's going on. You're being kept exiled, like literally.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Just let her know you really want to understand what that was like for her.
She's saying it was just horrible. She felt lonely. She felt scared.
Uh-huh. And you taking that in?
Yep.
Okay.
Like that I can feel vibrating throughout me, like what she was experiencing.
All right. You okay with it?
Yep. Perfectly fine.
Yep. Uh-huh. Yep.
And she's starting kind of not quite the movie reel, but she's starting to bring up all these aspects of her lifetime and place that played into this complete feeling of being in exile, being removed, being stuck. She put it, it's like being kind of the analogy she's trying to use. I'm not sure she wants to use it, so I'm going to let her use it.
Yes.
Quicksand. She's saying it's like being stuck in quicksand. You can't move. You can't do what you want. You feel like you're drowning, but you're completely isolated from everything else that's not in the quicksand. Even though you can see, like you can see beyond the quicksand and everything that's going on. But you can't move. You're restricted. You're stuck. You're imprisoned, really, in this quicksand as an exile from everything else. That's how she describes it. And it's very scary to a small child.
Yeah.
And she says she felt like there was no safe spot. There was nobody coming to pull her out. There was no one aware she was in the quicksand. Yet they were all there.
Yeah.
And they were all aware of her. They just weren't aware of her, how it was to her circumstance. So she felt very alone in it. It was very dark and lonely.
Yeah. Which
I think we've talked about before with the darkness and the loneliness. the cauldron of dark energy. I think we've spoken about that before.
Okay.
Maybe not,
So
but
it's all about just making sure that she feels like you understand it.
yeah. Yeah, she's really just throwing this kind of helpless emotion, this fearful, being trapped, being set aside, being in the center where everybody supposedly sees you, but nobody understands what's actually happening to you.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone is trying to keep secrets and keep everything away from you, whether they think they're protecting you or they can't deal with it, whatever their issue.
Mm-hmm.
And she's making it very clear. Like I'm in it with her at this moment.
Okay. But it doesn't feel like too much for you?
No, it's fine. I'm welcoming it. I'm really happy to have her express it.
Great.
I really want to understand it. And I want her to be...
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying, I want her to be able to express it. I feel like that's so important.
It's so important.
You were going to say?
If she developed any beliefs about herself or her world from those experiences.
Yeah, she said from very early on, she realized she was the only one who could keep herself safe.
Mm-hmm.
That literally you couldn't trust in other people, literally. And as a small child, she said, that became a very prominent thing and a very odd sized burden.
Mm-hmm.
She said it made her hyper aware of others. She said, because if you can't trust them, you always have to have your eye on them.
Right.
You have to be able to see what's coming before they even know what they're up to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she kind of has the hyper-aware parts.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And she's saying that's what really developed the chameleon part, that part that has this pronounced capacity to adapt to anything and just fit in.
Mm-hmm.
She's saying you wanted to fit in so you wouldn't be seen, you wouldn't be called out. You didn't want attention drawn to you because the consequences could be negative.
Uh-huh.
But you also wanted to feel safe, so you wanted to be part of whatever was the time, place, space situation. And by being part of it, you weren't noticed, so no negative aspects could come of it. And it felt safe because it kept you. I'd always kept a certain distance, this ability. And so
does she feel like you understand the negative consequences she was concerned about? Okay.
Yeah.
Does she trust that you are getting this and that you get her?
Yeah. Yes, we're very, very good with each other. And I think it's I still feel that it's not a research project part coming in and saying, feel it, really feel it. Don't just label these things.
Mm-hmm.
And she's saying to me that she doesn't believe that I actually understand the depth of sensitivity that she, as a child and a person and a being, had. She's saying she was highly, highly sensitive being. And that made the magnitude of all the chaos and all that the context she was in, all the more painful.
Yeah, ask her to show you that. Show you her degree of sensitivity and what that was like for her.
She's saying it's like complete overstimulation. That feeling of lights flashing and loud noises and too much going on where you just feel like you want to crawl out of your skin. That's what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
She said that's what life was like. And she's saying she needs me to understand the depth of my own, the person that I am, the sensitivity of it, because she said so much of what she had to do was to learn to deaden it down because it was too much to handle.
Yeah.
Like turning down the volume, turning down just shutting off the lights.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that because what I'm saying to her is I've been able to feel some of the symphony of emotions of late. And I'm sharing that with her, and I'm telling her how grateful I am to be able to start feeling emotions. And she's saying that that's only the beginning, that the source its original state is just so much bigger and broader and really, really beautiful, but it got turned down and dulled and distorted by all the chaos. And so I'm asking her, do you think we could ever release it to its natural state? And she said, well, I'm not 100% sure it's safe.
Okay.
But she wants me to experience it.
To better understand her through it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
She's saying the abandonment was just such a major thing in her world, along with it. Like she wants to emphasize, and she keeps emphasizing with me that the depth of her sensitivity as a being was just such a problem. Like it had to be really brutally just truncated and contained because it was just too hard to exist. And she's saying that on top of that, the abandonment was just rattling. That it was happening in multiple relationships and in multiple different ways.
How would it feel to ask her to take you back into some of those times and places, into her time, and for you to be there for her in the way that she needed someone?
Yeah. She's saying she'd like to do a movie reel.
Okay. That's great. Movie reels are great. We're witnessing what's going on for her. And I would just also offer that if there's any specific time and place that she'd like to kind of redo with you, that you can go back there and be there with her and for her.
Yeah, so she's taking me back now.
Great.
She's bringing me to very specific, chaotic moments.
Great.
I'm asking her, is there something I can do, or should I just witness it?
Yeah, what does she need in those moments?
She's saying she wants me to witness it and really feel it, not just label it, not stand separate from it.
Great.
And she wants me to make it stop.
Yeah, that's right. And you can use all of your current day self powers of compassion, courage, and creativity to show her how you can be there for her in times like that. You can ask her, or you can just lead in making them stop.
Yeah, we're kind of doing a little dance. I'm kind of making some suggestions. She's yesing or knowing them as we go.
Great.
She's feeling relief after all these years
of being alone with those.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She's saying, I don't have to be here alone in this. And I'm saying, no, you don't.
Right.
She's just quickly running through a movie reel of all sorts of stuff. There's so much of it. She's saying, it's the daily existence of my world. She said, I'm only giving you a flavor, but to have you present is more than I could have hoped for.
Okay. Yep. We can keep trying to over-deliver here. So again, if there is anything that she wants to redo with you, anything that she wants more than witnessing, sometimes that's talking to somebody back then, or putting yourself between her and them, or playing with her when she's alone.
Yeah, she's gone and asked me to just go in and really speak as the person I am now.
Yes.
To them.
Yes.
And to just say, hi ho, look here, this is not okay.
Yes. Right.
And to just embrace her and to be the presence for her that she never had.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A warmth that, a nurturing kind of, I got you.
Yep.
She's kind of got me spinning around amongst all these images, and occasionally we stop at one and I have my say. And then we spin again around to another one. She says she's really happy to even just to have me point out that it's not okay, because it's a bit like being, she said, it's a bit like being gaslit your whole life.
Right.
It all goes on. Everybody acts like it's all normal. You don't feel like it's normal. You're being completely
and she has to be alone. And she has to be alone with those feelings because
exactly.
Nobody's there to validate them or to advocate for her.
You start to feel a little crazy, like it's you.
Of course.
And I'm saying to her, look, none of this is normal. None of it. You are absolutely right. And so I'm occasionally speaking up in whatever vignette she presents.
Awesome.
She's saying she felt such heavy, heavy pressure to, meet expectations because there were so many. And yet she had to work so hard at protecting herself. Like she's saying to me, like she's saying, I can't even explain how hard it was to manage all this, to deaden all the sensitivity and to try to make it safe for myself, alone, exiled, in the chaos, without anyone. I'm feeling her burden in it all and the complexity. And I'm amazed at a young child. That's what I'm saying to her. I am amazed at how competent and crafty and amazing she was like, wow, I'm just blown away by what she constructed and how she coped. And
that's right.
Like
Yeah.
she's
Her reactions were right.
they
They made sense.
And she's amazing. Like what a clever little thing.
That's right.
She literally kept herself safe.
Mm-hmm.
And she's saying, I'm stuck here. I'm stuck here because of all of it, because it was so hard, because there was no connection, because I've been exiled. Literally, I've lived in a sense of exile all these years and then repressed.
Right. And that happens externally, and it also happens internally by those very protectors that developed to help keep her safe when they aren't updated, or they see that she remains burdened. That kind of perpetuates,
Yeah, I'm like I'm total awe of her in this moment.
Yeah.
It's what a wonderful little creature she was.
Yes.
I'm so full of appreciation for her and awe. She's just glad to be seen.
Is there more that she wants to go and redo with you in her time?
She's still doing it little bits and little snippets at a time. Mm-hmm. She's saying that it was all so compacted into such a, like she said it was like stuffing all of it into a little tuna can and sealing it up. And that tuna can that was sealed up with all of this was a brick. And then that brick was carried into the experiences of middle Kerri.
That's right.
And on that, more was built.
Yeah.
She says.
And she had to carry all that.
Yeah. Backbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a very comfortable place with each other. She really, really trusts me.
Okay. How would it feel to invite her out of that time and to come join you in the present in some other place that's just for her?
She says the last time I worked with her, she did that. She moved because she used to be under the bed, if you remember.
Yes.
And we moved to another place.
Uh-huh.
She said, interestingly now, she's saying she'd kind of like to be with me in the present, to be whole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like to be able to be with me as that was the experience, but it's not a brick. It's not a burden. It's just what it was, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she wants to be kind of more in kind of the picture of where things are now in a productive way.
Okay.
And I'm asking her, what does that mean? Like, what are you, what kind of role, what kind of role, what do you want? She's saying that she says she has so many skills and she really, really, really wants to bring that acute sensitivity as a resource to me.
Yeah, she will.
She says, you don't know the beauty of it. You've never been able to feel the beauty of it because it's been locked away, and it's such a wonderful quality.
Right. Yeah. So we want to make sure that she doesn't feel like she has to go back there to those places and times where she didn't feel safe. You might just ask her that if she feels like she is ready to make a more permanent move.
She's saying yes. She's not hesitating.
Okay. And is there anything else to create in this present space that would make it more comfortable or just right for her.
She's kind of throwing up an image of how she wants to be, where she wants to be in this more present space.
Great.
She's kind of describing what she wants it to be, and it's not actually, ironically, it's not actually how it is at the moment.
Right.
But she's saying it's how it should move towards being. So I want to be there waiting. I want to be there waiting for you when you get there.
That's it. Yep. Let her have that. Let her have that place. And you're absolutely right. If she's in the place where she belongs, it does call you and pull you in a positive way.
Yeah, it's really lovely. It gives me a really warm,
awesome,
heartfelt kind of feeling throughout me, seeing her there, and it feels very connected to me.
Yep.
Kind of the aha, this is where we're meant to be.
Mm-hmm. Another thing you can offer is to ask her where in her body that she's carried some of these burdens or beliefs. Like that she couldn't trust others, or that she has to deaden the sensitivity, meet others' expectations.
She said most of it comes in the burden of the shoulders and the neck.
Okay. And then you can ask her if she's ready, how she'd like to give those up.
She said she's very ready.
Okay. Yeah, she can give them up any way that she wants, and you can help her with that.
Okay. She wants to use a mixed media approach, she said.
Okay, great. Help her out with that.
So she wants to release them as they feel within her. So for instance, some she wants to just blast on rockets into outer space and let them be just dissolved back into stardust.
Great.
And some she wants to burn back into the elements that they came from. So
go for it. Tell her to do that. Take your time. Tell her to just keep doing that until it feels like they're all out.
she's feeling kind of giddy. She's never really felt any lightness before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's our natural state.
Mm-hmm. She's saying she's very, very excited for me to be able to really understand the acute sensitivity and what it means to exist like that, and the delight of it, and the
all the positive,
the amazingness of it.
Yeah. Right. How's it going with that unburdening? Is there any more that she feels like she's carrying in her body?
She's saying she wants to explode a few more into fireworks and watch them just give off their energy as bright colors and great shapes. She's saying to me, watch the show.
Yay.
She's saying this is an openness to be as I was intended to be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that she's never felt she had any possibility of that. Just saying she feels excited about whatever's left of this embodied life in a way that she never knew she'd be able to because she was so burdened.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting. Any more that she has stored in there that she'd like to let go of?
She's saying not really, but it feels so good to be able to just throw up her arms and blast it all off and express herself.
Yeah.
She just wants to relish that feeling.
Yeah. And now that she's with you, you know where to find her. It's totally fine to revisit these things. Do this over and over.
She's saying she really wants that. She's saying that her one concern for this feels also good, but of course she has a concern that the heaviness of it all will creep back from habituation or
smart kid.
You know, karmic patterns.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
She wants to remain light and with me in the present as an inspiration.
And that's the solution is the present and your presence.
Yeah. She's saying she wants to be my muse.
Yes. If you stay connected with her, then there aren't any difficulties that you can't solve with her. A lot of times that is what I'm encouraging now, is kind of setting that up and making that a ritual.
Yeah. I think that's probably easier to do when they're in the present with you.
Mm-hmm.
It feels more natural than going to seek her out in some purgatory, which was a huge step for her, like massive.
Yeah.
But this is more liberation.
Yeah, we just want to make sure we're addressing that concern of hers, a very valid concern that sometimes those rockets do fall back down, and we want to have self there to help navigate that.
Yeah. And I'm reassuring her that I will make the effort to check in with her and to enjoy the energy of her freedom and the coziness of where she is now.
How's she feel about that?
She's delighted because she keeps emphasizing to me that she is in a place where she's drawing me to. This is where we're going, she keeps saying. We've been unable to go where we were intended to go, but this is where we're going. And I'm there ahead of you, making way.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of kind of back behind you in the past.
Pulling, yeah.
Pulling and
anchoring, tethering.
Right. Causing other parts to take us off track and having to look back so much.
Yeah. She's saying she wants her experiences acknowledged. And I do acknowledge them. And I'm, as I said, I'm in awe of her, and I've communicated that to her. She's just an absolute wonder to me, this little young exile and she's saying she wants to blossom into not being a child anymore. She doesn't need to be, she said.
That's right.
She wants to be a partner. Yeah. She said, I want to be a partner in what's to come, what's happening now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Confidant and aid.
Yep.
So she's morphing into something else.
Yeah. Yeah, she can be whoever she wants.
Yeah. And I keep telling her, I'll be back. I'll check in regularly. As you morph, I'll witness.
Mm-hmm.
We can, we can be a team. We can walk through this embodied life together. It doesn't have to be you trapped under the bed,
Mm-hmm.
or you in some purgatory, or you stuck in the past as a small child. We have so many options.
And she trusts that. That's
Yep.
feels
Yep.
great.
Yep.
Okay.
And she's in just this wonderful place. Like
Awesome.
I'm personally so drawn to it. It's wonderful.
Great. Well, keep going back, keep enjoying it.
Yeah.
You might check in with protectors that, so many parts cared about what was going on with her.
Yeah.
The middle one, the mama bear, the analyzer. You might want to just update them all with this transformation and that you do have her.
Yeah, I'm radiating that out to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's being well received. Some are saying, finally. I think middle Kerri and mama bear are saying, yeah, it's the next step for us as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious if you ever learned more about the vibrating feeling, or if that any connections ever came up around that.
There was one point, and I can't remember exactly when it was, when I was with her, and she was giving off feelings. It felt the exact same vibration as I had been kind of feeling. So I almost re-experienced that vibration when she and I were walking through some of her experiences. So I think maybe it was a call to that.
Well, is there anything else? Anything we skipped? Anything that he's doing?
I don't think so. That felt very whole making.
Yes. Awesome.
Like, yeah, she really blossomed in that experience, which felt amazing.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need her in that place and unburdened to be whole.
Yeah,
need
that
her
was
unexiled.
Yeah. And it was really important. She really wanted to make that distinction, and that the other part did as well. It's not the label exile that matters. It was the experience exile that mattered.
Yeah, it's this little person inside of you that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. You're a wonderful, wonderful guide.
Okay. Thank you.
Really, really helpful.
Great. Good work. Enjoy it. Enjoy your parts and keep checking in, and I'll be in touch.
Okay, I think I have one more token, but I don't think I was able to find a time in your schedule that matched with my traveling. So I'll probably wait till the next tokens come up.
Okay. At the moment, there is 0 availability on the calendar.
Okay.
But there's always secret availability, so I can look for some and follow up with you.
Okay. That would be great.
Okay.
Thanks, James. It's always a great experience.
Thank you.
Be well.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.